that you have a great attitude, natural curiosity, and you can communicate and you err on the side of over communication, I can teach you anything. When I think about what are those baseline things that an employer is going to be looking for, right? And so I think about it under that context, which I think helps you become successful in your career, or what I call it, I'm all about maximizing your opportunities. So that's kind of how I talk about it when I'm talking to students or people interviewing for jobs, that type of thing. How can you set yourself up to maximize your opportunities? And so the things that I really encourage people to think about is having that natural curiosity, right? That's what led me at a very young age at 15 to really find accounting, because I was just naturally curious, wanting to learn how things work. Like, what was this? What is the why behind this? How do things connect? So when I think about in our profession, if you have that natural curiosity, one, that usually translates into analytical abilities, right? And critical thinking skills, which we hear CPAs, right? That's really awesome. So I'm thinking, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Show your natural curiosity. That's like one of my go-to, if you don't remember anything else, ask questions. Don't feel like you don't need to ask them. I actually get worried when people don't ask me questions. It has a reverse effect. And even in an interview, if I had candidates who didn't ask me thoughtful questions, they would not get hired, because I'm looking for that ability to want to learn, want to know, want to see how things work together, solve that puzzle, right? Put the pieces together, see the big picture, but also see that detail. So that characteristic of asking questions, that natural curiosity, is probably my biggest advice for people. Communication, right? I'm always going to say that. I think if you can ask questions, then typically lots of times those help go with each other, is to communicate. Over communication is my rule of thumb, right? I see so much miscommunication in workplaces today. I've seen them for years, but when I am designing programs at organizations or coaching individuals, most of the time it comes down to that there is a lack of communication, no communication, miscommunication, and that's natural, right? In life, we're all humans, right? We're not robots who can make sure we do things perfect. And I say that in parentheses for those who are listening to us and not watching us. I say that because perfection doesn't exist, but how can you be a good communicator? And that's keeping people up to date, asking questions. It kind of piggybacks on that. It's over communication, not being afraid of that, making sure people are really clear on what they need to do, or for yourself, what are your expectations and what do I need to do to make sure if someone hasn't communicated, to remember it's a two-way street and you should ask and make sure you're clear on what's being communicated and expected of you. So, I can go on for like days of all the characteristics, but I say if I can get those couple of things, that you have a great attitude, natural curiosity, and you can communicate and you err on the side of over communication, I can teach you anything. You have to, make sure you have that accounting degree. Let's rock and roll, because you care, you want to go. Let's go.